What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to talk to you about why blue-tongued skinks make better beginner pets than bearded dragons. Now, this might be a controversial topic, and if, since you were 5, you've always wanted a bearded dragon, and it's 20 years later, you still want that bearded dragon, I would recommend that. But if you're deciding, well, I want a lizard that doesn't get too big, I don't want something small like a gecko that's going to jump and get lost, but I want a medium-sized lizard that's, easy to handle, easy care, this is going to be the video for you. So starting off, the temperature range is pretty similar between the blue-tongued skink and the bearded dragon. They're both from Australia. So you're going to want a basking temp about 110 degrees Fahrenheit with a gradient anywhere from, on the cold side, to 80 to even 70 would be fine. That way it gets a wide range and they can choose what they want. Now, for humidity, both are pretty similar. Usually your household humidity will work good. Aim for 40 to 60% and bump it up a little bit when it's shedding. Now, the main thing that's going to make it easier is food. So for bearded dragons, you need lettuce daily and bugs daily as a baby, and then every other day as an adult. So you're going to be feeding that animal every day of its life. Where blue-tongued skinks, yes, when their first 3 months of their life, you feed them daily. But after that, you start slowing down to every other day, and then by adult, you're feeding about once a week. So it makes it easy, and also they're going to be eating less, so that's less poop you got to clean up. So, and another thing, so some people worry about bearded dragons getting impacted, so they worry about using substrate or this and that. Where blue tongues, pretty much whatever substrate you use, whether it's mulch, Reptile, you can do a sand mix with those, some peat moss mixed in with those, or even, organic topsoil will work fine. You feed them on a plate, they're not going to get impacted. Make them sure they got fresh water. And that's another thing. Bearded dragons don't really drink standing water. Some will. So some people will give their bearded dragons baths, or, they'll do a little fountain, but then the problem with fountains, those will get bacteria quick. And then, you're going to be cleaning that out. And a lot of them you can't fully take apart. Now, blue-tongued skinks will get a little longer, and you have to be careful which species you get, because some of the Indonesian species have a pretty high humidity range, and that will actually make it more of an intermediate pet, whereas the Australian blue tongues are pretty easy. And also price range, the northerns have gone down in price over the last few years, so they start off pretty close to the bearded dragons. So enclosures are about the same also between the two. You're going to want a 4x2x2. Bearded dragons need a higher UVB that's required, where blue tongues, I recommend still doing it, but they could get by with just calcium and D3 in their diet. They both have a range of colors. They both have multiple genetic things, whether it's zero and whiplets and bearded dragons, or albino hypermelanistics and the blue tongues, or even the white northern, which is close to the zero. And won't be long, those will be about the same price as the zero, as many have been reproduced recently. So I hope this was helpful. If you really want a beardy, go for that. While these can be calm, handle animals that will make great pets, you could start off, a younger child. You could, with some help from the parent, it's always good. The parent knows the care, but, these will make a great pet. They got great colors, great personalities, and I hope this was beneficial. I appreciate for you stopping by. Please like and subscribe.